Alright guys, we're going to be changing the oil pan on this. I got the lift set up ready to raise it up. This is the one we bought. It is a knockoff of a Holley 3022 or 3012, something like that. I'll have to look and make sure. It's same. It's for an F body, same as an F body basically. And when we get the car up, and I'll show you what I was looking at and why I chose this pan. But anyway, it comes with the pickup tube, all the bolts, block off plate. Well, not necessarily block off plate, it actually passes through. And it came with an oil pan gasket, which needed replaced anyway. Quality wise, I would, it's good enough. I would say it's equal. The machine lip's pretty smooth. This is one I got off of Amazon. I'll put the description and the link down in the in the comments, or ask and I'll let you know. So let's get the car up. Okay, here's what we got. This pan hangs down extremely low, so when these were on the ground, I had them adjusted up to the frame so you can see how close that pan was to the ground. I mean, it was probably another 1.5 inches and it'd be hitting the ground. Second part is, up here we got it rubbing when we turn, which is really not good. I mean, granted, I could probably shave down a little bit of that rod here, but we don't want to do that. We're just going to go ahead and pull this pan. I'm going to have to drop this down and then drop the oil pan, and I think there's a windage tray in here that we have to trim back. So anyway, alright, we got it off, and looks like I got a little bit of cleaning to do. Not sure about this oil dipstick. We'll have to see where it levels out when I put I think it's 6 quarts, 5.5, 6 quarts. And pretty sure we're gonna have to cut this right there, just at the first bolt. We will see when we kind of fit it up in there. I'm gonna take this out. Alright, now I'll show you guys the comparison of the different oil pans. Okay, here's the old truck pan. Now we got in the front about, well, let's say 2 1/4 on the very corner up here. At the first bolt hole, we're 2 3/4. Right here we're about 3. Right, it's before the third bolt hole. And this one, we're 1 1/4. The second hole, still 1 1/4, and then it drops right there. So let's go to the third, and we're at 2 1/2. So in the upper area, now the sump is almost 10 inches, whereas the sump on this one, well, it's kind of tapered, but down at the bottom it's 7, goes to 8.5. Now, all total in height, right, well, we'll go right, oops, right there, we are at 8 3/4. This is 5 1/2. A little hair over. Anyway, that's the difference. Oh, and I about hit myself with that. And underneath, I've got the windage tray taken off. We'll take a quick look at it. Look up in there. Doesn't look too bad. Pistons look really clean from the underside. I mean, we got varnish kind of stuck on the thing. I'm not sure what that is, but we got some writing on this motor. So, whoops, probably dripped oil on her lens there. I'm gonna check into a little bit of that. This thing may have possibly been rebuilt already. Not sure. It looks really dirty to have been rebuilt, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna get the other pan ready and get back to putting this together. Alright, we got the windage tray in, and basically I just cut out there and there. I already tested the pan up here and it fit, so you don't need to hack the whole thing off. It actually gives it a little bit of splash there. And we're going to finish bolting this up and put the pickup tube in and test fit it again before we put the gasket on, and then we will bolt it up. Okay, we went to go put the pickup tube in, and I'll show y'all kind of what we had. This sits down in there like that, and this piece sits down there like this. So it's such a close fit that we had to trim this side to give space for that tube, which is no big deal. We still got that, and I think this will work now, so I'm gonna go give this a try. Okay guys, there is the windage tray and the pickup tube is in, so you can kind of see, well, this side maybe, where I cut it and why, because that tube lays up really tight up against it. So you kind of have to just fit it, put it together, see what's hitting, mark it, and cut it. And as far as my dipstick goes, we'll see how that plays out, because on the other pan, you know, that was full. So I'm just gonna fill it with 5 1/2 to 6 quarts and see where it ends up on this dipstick. Alright guys, we got the oil pan on, and I'll show it to you here. Now these are either the 6 or the 8 bolts, I'm not sure. I just tighten it down hand tight. If they're M6 bolts, it says to go to 8 foot-pounds. If they're the M8 bolts, it's 18 foot-pounds. So I just did snug, and it's good. So here's our clearance. I don't know if you'll be able to see very good, but we can shine a light in there. There we go. That's how much clearance I got. And that is probably on the front side. I mean, we're probably a good inch on the bar, and then on the ram it's probably the way it's sitting right now. I mean, I can stick my hand up in there, so that is a good pan for doing this. And I have no special, just the regular mount with the adapter. I hadn't spaced it out or nothing. The only difference from my kid's Corvette and this one has a little spacer that brings this ram end down, and his does not. His bolts right up to it. So that might be what's helping me on clearing this pan. Okay, we're gonna let this down, fill it with oil, and we're gonna see how much clearance I gained on the ground, because before it was ridiculous. You couldn't clear a Coke can laying on its side. Alright, got it on the ground now. I rolled it back a little bit, back and forth, trying to get suspension to settle. And this camera angled a little better. And there we are. So, and it's probably hard to tell, but we probably got about 5-6 inches, I think. I mean, considering if I go back here, you know, the exhaust is gonna be my low spot, and I may get that raised up a little bit. I got room to cut it up higher and come up tighter to the body. But anyway, I am happy with the oil pan. I like the way it's kind of tucked up a lot more than the other one, and we have a lot of clearance for the steering. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up now, and we'll see how many quarts it takes. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching. If you would go down, like and subscribe. And for the part number, I just looked at the box here, and it looks like, if it would focus, come on, it's a, I don't know, a 3022 LS swap E, LS2, LS3, LS6, 57, 53, and 65. So anyway, honestly, you know, Holley versus this one, it's aluminum, cast aluminum, so you can't, you know, how much better can the Holley one be? I don't know. I didn't buy it. It was $400. I bought this one. It was it was $207, I think, total with shipped one day. So anyway guys, I'll see you next time.